Hey. Oh, look, you aren't very central, man. I think I need to fix you. You need to move, I don't know what way. Wait a second.
What about this?
Oh, that's better. That was better. All right.
No better?
That's way better. All right. There's a few people in the chat. Learned is there as always, saying we lost last night. Well, better luck next year. I don't know who he's talking about. Jamar says, hey, Learn. Joy says, my old channel got deleted, so I created a new one. There you go. Ree says, hello. Nick Fadley says, hey. And then he says, sorry, I hit the like. I didn't mean it. No, you're meant to hit the like, man. Hit the like. Don't say sorry for hitting the like. TCR Edits says, I'm back. Hey, TCR, how are you? Ree says, hey, KP and J Crom.
How are you? Are we live?
We're live, man. That's all the chats. I just read them to you. Everyone's saying hello.
Oh, how you going, guys? What's going on?
That's everyone's chats, man. So, listen, Nick, don't say sorry for hitting the like button. Do it, man. If you're new, please like, share, subscribe. I guess we get straight into it, man. You know, it's funny. Last week, Abhishek is back from last night. This is our resident Man United fan from India. He was in the watch along, and he's back, man. So we got a Man United fan along here with us from India.
That's cool, man. All the way from India.
All the way from India. Boston's here as well. Everyone's saying hello. TCR says my club Lille lost. Lille, don't worry about Lille, man. Last week we started off with Man United getting done by Tottenham. That's where we started. So this week, since it was the last game, and I think it was big. I've put it up there on the screen. I reckon we start with it. It's the most recent result. Tottenham 2-0 up. Get done by Brighton 3-2. Click on that there. Got it here. So, man of the match got given to Welbeck, who scored the winning goal. Danny Welbeck, ex-Man United player. So, Tottenham were 2-0 up, man. Brennan Johnson scored the first goal. James Maddison. And then, I don't know what happened. Did they capitulate? Did Brighton just teach them a lesson? Did they think they won it? I don't know. I tell you what, that's a hard pill to swallow for Ange and for the players. That yeah,
Um,
I fell asleep. But it was 2-0 because I went in after did the watch along for Man United, and it was obviously like real late. It was like two something, and I fell asleep. It was 2-0. I'm like, oh, Tottenham got this in the bag.
yeah,
And then yeah, I don't know. Tottenham fans not happy. That's very Spursy for one, and it makes the result at Old Trafford last week like pretty much meaningless, I reckon.
yeah. Look, I had to go back and watch the highlights on this one. It does seem like a game of two halves, but to be fair, there was a lot of chances in this game. Both teams played a high line a lot, so yeah, there was a lot of balls going in behind. Matoma was getting some good balls in from behind. So with Tottenham, so both keepers made a few decent saves, but it was a very open game. This one, by the looks of things. So
The
yeah,
one
look,
thing.
come 2-0 down. Sorry.
All right, go keep going.
Yeah. It's to be 2-0 behind and win 3-2 against a team like Tottenham. Yeah, it's a great result from Brighton. But yeah, all in saying, it was an open game, and both teams are very attacking.
Yeah, yeah. It was the one thing that I got from it was like he didn't score, but watching his build-up play, I don't know why Man United weren't in for Solanke. I think he walks into our team at the moment. Like we went and signed other players that I don't know. Hoyland's young. I know he's young, but Solanke, like he set up, I think two of the goals, just turns, put some balls through. Brennan Johnson, everyone was bagging Ange for signing him. He scored 7 goals in 7 games now, so he's
Mm.
doing good. But then I think they showed the opposite side to last week. We were like, oh, look at a man. They got fast defenders. Look how good they defend. But then Romero and Van de Ven were shit like this week. So
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Ange said it was the worst game loss in his management career.
Wow.
So listen, I
Well,
don't know what that means, but
they showed clips of him on the sidelines. He was just shaking his head a lot. So you can tell he was frustrated at the performance of the players. But yeah, look that winner from Welbeck, the guy who crossed it in. There was about four Tottenham's players around this player,
I know
and
how bad was it?
none of them could like do anything about it. And he gets the cross in, and Welbeck's just on his own in the 6 yard box. So yeah, it was a pretty poor winner if you're defending wise for Tottenham.
The defending was bad all round.
Mm.
But Abhishek says last week Tottenham celebrated like they won a trophy. Now Bottleham again, bottled even after taking a 2-0 lead. So he's sticking the boot in after United losing to Tottenham. TCR says the top 10 are levels above the bottom 10 this season. Well, I'll tell you what, Man United, we're almost going to be safe this year the way we're going. So good point for the relegation battle.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, huge. That's a massive result for Brighton, and that's a huge loss for Tottenham. Zakal says hi, KP and J Crom. Everyone on the chat.
Cal, what's up?
We'll bring up the results now. We'll go back to the start. I thought we'll get that game out of the way since it was fresh but big result for Brighton, man. And I agree with you that the high line thing from both those teams, I think it's going to bite them both in the ass later in the year.
Oh, it's like there is high line, and then there's Tottenham and Brighton.
I know it's next level.
It's higher than a higher line.
Well, Tottenham get away with it because they have factually the quickest player in the Premier League is playing centre back for them. But if they go down Romero's side or something, he gets done. Like what you can't, yeah, I don't know. TCR says, I don't think the blame should be fully on Ten Hag. Well, we're going to talk about that when we get to Man United, but we'll look at the other ones' results for now. Let's go to the results page. Here we go. I'll get back to the results for us. We'll go back to the first one that started it all off. Liverpool stayed top against Crystal Palace, 1-0 away. Listen, good result for them because they stay top. But I was thinking that as well. Sort of what like TCR was saying. Like United went to Palace and probably should have won, and it was 0-0. Liverpool went there, and I mean they just won because Crystal Palace had some chances too, and it's all so fine margins, isn't it? But Liverpool stay top. They got an early goal. They missed a few chances themselves, but I mean Eze, man, he could have had a couple goals. Like the manager dropped Mateta. I don't know why he did that. But yeah, big result for Liverpool, staying top, I guess.
Yeah, I watched a bit of the end of this game, and looks like Liverpool were not, I wouldn't say hanging on, but Palace were peckering a little
Oh,
bit.
they had
So
chances, man. They had chances,
they
Palace.
had chances, like you mentioned. Eze had a really good chance. Remember, I think it was, who's that blonde midfielder for, is it Hughes?
It could be Hughes or Wharton, one of
Yeah,
them.
I think it was Hughes. He won the ball in the middle of the field and totally caught Liverpool off guard, and it was just a one-on-one practically for Eze, and he hit it straight at the keeper, unfortunately for them. So, yeah, look, they were peckering, but look, Liverpool look like the better team, I think. And, yeah, look, top of the ladder. I didn't expect Liverpool to be at the top at this point, so Slot's really just, yeah, I wouldn't say he's a genius or like, oh my God, he's the best, but he's just like, okay, let's just continue what we've been doing and, just take over from Klopp. And Klopp's obviously left a great foundation for the club. And yeah, look, Slot's just continuing in his ways. And they're doing well. And yes, Salah's having a great year. A lot of the players are playing really well. So if you're a Liverpool fan, yeah, it's a good case to be optimistic this season.
No one's going to admit to being a Liverpool fan.
We got Reeves. Where's Reeves at?
He's not here, so it doesn't matter. Him and GT are not here yet. So, um, listen, the one thing I'll say is all credit to them. Like you said, they're top after round 7, but I think even the Liverpool fans are playing it like they lost to Forest. They scraped over against Palace. They haven't played anyone yet. If you're considering like they haven't played a City, Arsenal, a Tottenham, whatever. They played United, but we're fucking shit. Everyone
Mm.
like walks all over us. They haven't even like Mark Wallen was even saying they haven't really played. I think you judge Liverpool when they come up against a City or an Arsenal or something like that. Just you know, see where their medal is. But listen, they're top, and you got to give them credit. So
Mm.
the next one, listen, the team that's hot on their heels, Arsenal, 3-1 against Southampton. I mean, I don't think anyone would have predicted otherwise. But 3-1, they went 1-0 down, which was a shock. I was watching it like in goal rush. I was like, they went 1-0 down. And I was like, oh man, what's going on here? Because at the same time, City were 1-0 down. And I was like, this is the best thing since sliced bread. But that turned around really quickly. I think it was not long at all they were winning for Southampton. But listen, Arsenal are one of the favourites, I think. And I think Southampton are one of the favourites to go down. It's just, I think the newly promoted teams are in trouble, man. We'll talk about Ipswich and that as well. But I think Southampton are in trouble. I think Ipswich are in trouble. So listen, I think it was pretty straightforward for Arsenal.
Yeah, look, obviously Southampton going up 1-0 sort of woke up the beast in Arsenal, and then they just banged 3 goals in. So look, yeah, you got to give credit to Southampton to having a clean sheet in the first half and going up 1-0 in the second half, and then obviously capitulated with Arsenal. But look, you look at 3-1 away to Arsenal when you're Southampton, like that's not too bad really. So
Yeah, of course.
um, yeah, there's not much to say except Arsenal probably disappointed that they went down early on in this game and had to come back. And Southampton might take some positives out of this game, but yeah, you're right. The Saints will struggle to stay up this year. It's going to be a tough league to stay up, but obviously Wolves are down here. We're going to get to them next, I think. But yeah, look, Arsenal, they win what they have to win. 3-1, good result in the end. And yeah, they keep on sharing the scoring. I've noticed in Arsenal.
Yeah,
Not
big
really.
time.
There's not really a big one threat person. They share the scoring there, which is a good sign for me anyway. So yeah, look, yeah, I'm bullish on Arsenal this year. Obviously, we both tipped them to win the league this year, so yeah, they're right up amongst it.
I don't know if anyone would take anything that I tip into consideration, man. I said Man United are going to finish third. So.
Yeah, I used my heart with that one as well.
Um, anyway, I'll read a few of these chats, man, 'cause a few of the chats have gone mad. Zakal says Penrith Panthers won the NRL Grand Final 4 in a row. There you go. I would never have known that if Zakal didn't say that. So
I was actually watching
four,
it last night in the
4 in a
background playing
row.
poker.
What the hell?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Chris C says, "What's happening? How does Spurs lose to Brighton after being 2-0 up?" Well, that's what Spurs do, big man. We talked about that. First game we talked about. Abhishek says, Garnacho is a raw player, but people are hyping him up for no reason. He is literally thinking he is Ronaldo, but he's not. What's your opinion, KP and JG? Oh, listen, I think Garnacho's got the world at his feet. Listen, he is overhyped because he's a Man United player, but I truly believe he can be a world-class player. He's got the world at his feet. You got to remember, he's only 20 years old. That's my opinion. I don't know about John. He's, anyway, a player that can, when you look at it last year, I think he scored 15 goals and has the ability to score a goal like that scissor kick he scored. I think, that's a 1 in a million goal. Like I think he's got the world at his feet. Just he needs the right guidance. That might not be at Man United. I don't know, but I don't know.
Look, a lot of young players have great potential, but I look at Garnacho as being a very high potential player. So look, he's a good player right now. He's definitely not the finished article, and he's definitely got a bit more to work on. But yeah, if he keeps his head down and he keeps focused and works hard at it, he could be a really good player, and he could even get to that world class player status down the track. But there's a lot of ifs though. But he has to work hard to achieve that. But he does have the potential to get there.
100%, 100%. And I agree with John. I'm not saying he's got the potential. Like Mason Greenwood had that potential. He was one of the best young players I think we'd seen since Wayne Rooney, and off the field things, I think he still is going to go on to be a good player. He's showing that in France, but he was going to be world class, and that's been scuppered now. That's not going to happen now. But anything can happen. That's the thing. They can either go one way, they can go the other way, they can go in the middle, they can go Ravel Morrison way. But yeah. Anyway, we'll go to the next one. Arsenal got the result they wanted. The next one is I want to say about this game first, Matt. Last week, me and John spoke about this game, and we said the only way that Brentford record is getting broken of scoring 3 goals in the first minute in 3 consecutive games is if they do it again this week to make it 4 and break their own record. And I tell you what, man, they got close. They scored in the second minute or 2 minutes
Really?
50. Yeah, so they've scored in first minute, and then third minute in 4. I don't know what they're doing. And their next game is Man United. And we start bad. Man United start bad. So, listen, it was a real high-scoring game. It was on Goal Rush, and I was watching Man City Fulham. And then in the end, I was spewing. I should have been watching Brentford Wolves 5-3. Dude, it was just end to end. But like that, I don't know what they do, man. They hit it back to their fullback or their centre back, and they just hit it long to the corner. Their whole team hits the corner, and they're like, if we don't get the first ball, we're going to get the second ball, put a cross in, and mate, 4 weeks in a row to score goals like that. But big up Brentford. They're coming to Old Trafford in 2 weeks because of the international break. But 5-3. You know what? Wolves are in a bit of trouble too, I think, man. They're just not getting results. Not like last year. They're just not getting points.
Yeah, I believe they're bottom of the ladder, Wolves. So yeah. Danger signs for them. I think a lot of us tipped them to do pretty bad last season, which they surprised me big time last year. I thought they were going to drop off last year because of that shambles they had before the season started.
Yeah.
So obviously it's maybe filtering on to this year. But yeah, look, you're talking about Brentford, the quick starters. Again, I didn't realise they scored that early again. So
It's crazy, man.
it does look like an entertaining match. I haven't yet gone back and watched the highlights of this one yet. 5-3 looks like a very entertaining game. I have seen the goals in it, but just not the highlights. And Imbubu, how do we say his name?
Mbuemo. Oh, Mbuemo. Didn't I tell you we should have went with him in fantasy, man?
He scored a penalty, I think. So yeah.
And now everyone's got him. He's like the most transferred in player, like because everyone has hit on to that he's gonna take all the goals now that Tony's gone. So
yeah, yeah. Look, I'm surprised how well Brentford have done without their talisman, Tony. So yeah, look, I thought they were going to struggle this year, Brentford, but
me
yeah,
too.
they're proving me wrong. They're doing pretty well, and yeah, Wolves. My uncle's a Wolves supporter, and
Your uncle's
tell you
gonna be
what,
spewing, eh?
you'll be worried now. Bottom of the ladder, haven't got a win yet. I don't think they haven't got a win yet. No.
Nah.
So yeah, look, trouble times ahead, and you don't want to be bottom of the ladder on the second international break. So I think there's a stat where 80% of the time you'll get relegated if you're there. But yeah, look, it's not a good place to be.
I think someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the only team to survive after 10 games winless was when Palace went 10 games winless with De Boer and they sacked him and brought Roy Hodgson back in. And then they survived by the skin of their teeth. But like, I think it's the only team to do that, like in the history of it. So yeah, they're getting close to it. 7 games in. Do they stick with Gary O'Neill? Like at the moment, all the press is about Man United because they're struggling with Erik Ten Hag, and people are forgetting about clubs like, like Rob O'Neill with Wolves. Is he going to keep his job? Like there's some of the new clubs, like is McKenna going to keep his job at Ipswich, or are they going to try go with someone to keep him up? Like it's. I think someone touched on it in the chat before. I sort of agree with it. I think the bottom, maybe not 10, but I think the bottom 3 this year are really far off the rest of the league. I think it's going to be like a pretty comprehensive relegation this year. But yeah, I don't know. They're in trouble, Wolves, and I don't mind Wolves, man. I'd like them to stay up, but yeah, I don't know. That takes us on to the next one. Leicester got their first win. Leicester take off. First win back in the Premier League. 1-0 against Bournemouth. Even Bournemouth, man, like Leicester, that's a huge win for Leicester. Like, everyone was talking about Iraola, but, he has lost Solanke. If I bring the table up, where we got Bournemouth. Bournemouth are sitting, just with Man United. So they're 13th, United are 14th. They're struggling compared to last year too. Yeah, big win for Leicester, man. Real big win for Leicester. It was a good goal too. It was a cracker goal too.
Yeah, look, I was pretty. I thought Leicester might do well this year. I thought they might stay up, but yeah, I'm surprised it's their first win of the year. So,
well, I think the Maresca thing has changed any expectations you could have had, isn't it?
Yeah, losing Maresca, obviously. But yeah, look, where are they? 15th.
Yeah, around us.
Yeah, look, it's very early on. I still, you can't write off anyone yet, but yeah, look, Leicester getting their first win, break the duck is always a good sign, so it builds confidence. Yeah, look, Bournemouth, they've actually played good this year without Solanke as well, so I wouldn't be too worried if you're a Bournemouth fan. I didn't see anything of this game, so...
Nah, me neither. I just saw the goal.
It was just... yeah, look, what do you say? Like, yeah, Leicester get their first win of the year. Bournemouth, I wouldn't be too worried, so both teams could stay up, so yeah.
Yeah. Well, that takes us on to the next one. I watched this whole game because it was the main game on Goal Rush. Fulham went 1-0 up against Man City, and I was like, man, and they were playing well too. They're actually playing really well. Ended up getting pegged back. Kovacic scored 2 goals. Everyone's been saying, who's going to take Rodri's spot? He came in and not just playing his role, he scored 2 goals as well. So and two nice goals too.
Hmm.
And then Doku scored it a cracker. I don't know if he even meant it. He just pinged it, went top bins. But the Fulham goal, I tell you, Raul Jimenez's assist was one of the best assists I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like he got it in the box. He did this backheeled it up in the air. It was unbelievable, man. It was wicked. Like it was so good, man. But in the end, City, boring City, get their first win in 3 games. Actually, when we forget that they've come off 2 draws, so first win in 3 for City. With the way
Mm.
Liverpool and Arsenal are going, they'll want that. They'll need that win, I guess.
Yeah, look, Fulham have been playing well this season. I've been surprised with them. I think they're in the top half of the ladder as well. I'm not too
They're good,
sure,
man. They
but
look good, yeah.
yeah, look, playing good stuff. Is it Silva the coach?
Yeah, Marco Silva,
Yeah, so maybe he's found a bit of groove there with Fulham at the moment. They are
I
playing
think their
nicely.
only loss is to Man United, I think.
That Rose Smith has been playing. That seems like a good
Yeah, he
signing.
started on the bench. He started on the bench last, but he's been playing well, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, Fulham. Gee, there's so many decent teams in the Premier League now, so it's always,
Yeah.
as a United fan, you don't know when your next win's coming. But
Oh. You know who's
yeah, look,
playing really well for them, man? Our bloke, Pereira. He's playing really well for Fulham.
yeah, look, he's come of age too. He's like a bit of a senior player there now. So
Yeah.
yeah, look, Man City. Obviously, it's hard to get anything at the Etihad Stadium, even with Rodri out for the season, and I don't think even Haaland scored this game. So
No.
yeah, look, you that's a very respectable score for Fulham, and
Oh,
they haven't
yeah.
scored more than anything. So look, Man City get the 3 points. That's the main thing in the end. They put the pressure on Arsenal and Liverpool, and look, you can just never count out Man City. So yeah, I think we're all Team Fulham this game, but City get the chocolates.
The the one thing I'll say about them, it's funny saying it considering that they're still like, I don't know, a point off top or something. But they just don't look right. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's De Bruyne's not there, Rodri, but they don't look like City of the last couple of years. Like Joy of Unknown has said there, do you think they're going to go 5 straight? And I don't think they are. I actually think Liverpool and Arsenal look better than them at the moment. Listen, it's only early doors. It's 7 games in, but I don't know. There's something about them. And I mean, all great things come to an end with teams. It happened with us when we won 3 in a row. Then that 4th year we didn't win it.
Yeah,
It's hard, even for Pep, even for that squad, even with that. I don't know. Is the thing because it's going through court at the moment? Is that lingering over their heads? I don't know. That could affect players. That could affect managers. But I don't know. They don't look right, which is funny saying it because they pretty much smack almost everyone. But
mm,
I don't know. But anyway, I hope they don't win 5 in a row. Anyway, Joy, that's
yeah, I know stuff that.
stuff that. But that takes us on to the next one. I think this was their first win of the campaign as well. This is your other uncle's team. West
Yeah,
Ham spanked Ipswich 4-1. The one thing I say about that, watching it, man, I tell you, McKenna, and it's been happening to Chelsea, it's been happening to Brighton. We talked about it. These coaches that are so adamant they have to play at the back, the one piece of advice I would give them, and they might say, man, who the fuck are you? You never played at this level, but it's fine to play at the back, out of the back, if you're Man City, Liverpool, Arsenal, and you have the quality to do it. When you're not good enough to do it, I heard Roy Keane talking about it as well. He's like, if you're not, like, he goes, we used to do it back in the 90s with United because we were good enough. He goes, if you're not good enough, you get caught out. And they just keep getting caught out, man. They're not good enough to do it. And McKenna's stubborn with it. But I believe they're in trouble as well, man, Ipswich.
yeah. Look, I did see some of those goals, and they did get caught out with that trying to play at the back. A lot of teams. It seems like a lot of teams do it though, man. That playing
Everyone
out of
does
the
it.
back, it's just like playing with fire a lot of the time. So yeah, look, they got exposed a couple of times doing that, and look, a much needed win for West Ham. The Hammers will be happy with that one, and the
Oh,
Bubbles
yeah.
will be back. Look, they had to get that win. it was such a must-win game for West Ham. This game was unreal. So they did it well in the end, 4-1. I think Bowen got some goals. I'm not sure if he got one or two.
He scored a nice goal. He cut in, scored a nice goal. Antonio scored one. Kudus.
Yeah.
And who was the other one? I don't even remember now. I can't remember. But yeah, Paqueta scored.
Yeah. So I've seen some nice things from Ipswich, but just it's not really panning out in the result-wise for them. So it's not looking good for Ipswich at the moment. I know it's only 7 games in, but yeah, it could be alarm bells there for Ipswich and McKenna. So, 4-1 is a pretty heavy defeat in the end.
You know what the thing is? You know how you said it? You mentioned that, like, how you're saying every team tries to do it. They try to play out from the back. And I'm saying, if you're just not good enough, like, don't do it. I truly believe football is going to go full circle. And there's going to be a big team that comes out when a whole team presses them like Man City do or something. And they're going to kick it long. And it's going to be a tactic like Brentford are doing. And they've done, those 4 games in a row where they've kicked, like, quick goals. I think some teams are going to start doing it because it beats a press. If you've got a keeper that's got a accurate kick on him, just like Man City do it with Edison to Haaland, you can beat presses. And I truly believe it's going to go full circle. And, as the game always evolves, we've seen it as fans, like 4-4-2s to 4-3-3s to 3-5-2s. It always changes. And I think something's going to change there because too many teams getting caught out. It's just... It's like laughable sometimes. But anyway, I agree. I think Ipswich in big trouble. That takes us on to the next day. Listen, we won't talk much about Everton Newcastle. It was 0-0. I don't think it was a very good result for either of them. But yeah, I don't know, 0-0 at home. Even the highlights, there was not much from what I saw, but I didn't watch it. But we can talk about United. We'll talk about the other 0-0 because it's our team. United go to Villa. Everyone was thinking that we were going to get absolutely thumped. Wasn't the case. But when the lineup came out, I don't know if I was saying on the watch long, I don't know if Ten Hag if he just threw in the towel. Not so much with I didn't care about the centre backs. Like everyone was talking about the centre backs, but if players play bad, they should be able to be dropped. And that doesn't bother me. So if De Ligt and Martinez had bad games, why can't he drop them? That's fine. Yeah, okay. You had a bad game, I'm going to drop you. But the midfield, he put a midfield with no legs. It ended up working a bit because Eriksen had a good game. But if he can drop De Ligt and Martinez, why the fuck can't he drop Bruno? That's the question I've got to ask. Bruno was, again, our worst player, I thought. Rashford was copping a lot of stick, and I actually think he played well. He got taken off, I think, because of the yellow card thing. The one thing I will say is Johnny Evans, big up to that guy, man. He showed, he was our man of the match. Maguire was playing really well till he got injured. So was Mazraoui. Dalot did okay, and actually to all of them, I said this earlier, even to De Ligt, he come on, and he was probably our next best player. So De Ligt, Maguire, Evans, they were probably our 3 best players. And Lindelof, man. He came on at right back for Mazraoui, hasn't played a game, and put in a better shift than some of these guys. But listen, I've got it there as a poll. Will Ten Hag survive the international break? I don't know. I think there's alarm bells, man. Like, what are you thinking? I know you've been critical of him, but what are you thinking if you're Ugarte? 2 games in a row, you've been signed. He hasn't even come on, hasn't been given a minute. The guy that he was signed to replace came on before him last night. Casemiro came on before him. Like, I don't know what Ten Hag's thinking. Like is he just trying to make a point or something? But I don't know. Like, you said it to me on the phone. He's ruining Ugarte now, isn't he? Like, his confidence is going to be in the bin. Like, and that's because of Erik. So, listen, to be honest, I still think he's got to go. That's
I think Eric's got a bit of an issue of he tries to play certain players back into form, and he puts other players into worse form. So yeah, look, he persists sometimes with Rashford in the past. He persisted with Anthony a lot. Now he's persisting with Bruno a lot, just to try to play these certain players into form when they're just not getting there. To be fair, look, Rashford's been playing okay in my thoughts at the moment, but
he did okay.
yeah, look, he obviously dropped Elite and Martinez. They're both. I don't know if the partnership's not well with them too. If it's not just not gelling with them, or I know Martinez seems he's dropped off a little bit. I know Delit's new to the club. He's still finding his way, but he has made a few mistakes. But he's done some good things as well. What I've seen of Ugarte is he might be shielding him because he doesn't look. It's hard to say a player's not ready at the age of 23, 24 to play, but he just looked a little bit lost sometimes. But he hasn't played. He's only played a little bit, but I think Ten Hag was worried that he might have been a liability this match, which is a big concern. Like, why did we get him in the first place if he's thinking like this?
100%.
If you buy a central midfielder for £60 million, he's not a bench player. He's
But
just
the same, isn't this the second time he's done it, bro? Isn't it? He did it Mason Mount. Like, he's got the number 7 top, 50 million, and they both don't make, like, listen, we haven't seen Ugarte to say, but, like, they're both not first-team players in Eric's eyes.
Is Ugarte a Ineos signing and not a Ten Hag signing? And is he, like you said, proving a point that way? Like, I'm not too sure. It's hard to figure out, or is something going on behind the scenes we don't know of Ugarte? Is his head not in there right now? We're not too sure. But look, it was strange as well. I honestly thought he would start because he didn't start midweek against Europe. I go, surely was a Ugarte play.
Exactly.
But yeah, Eriksen, going back to Eriksen, he has been playing well. It's just not sustainable. Like, these, Johnny Evans is playing great, but it's not a sustainable selection. Eriksen's playing great. It's not a sustainable selection. You have to make these players work now, the ones that you've got. Even though I've got my thoughts on the signings that we've got in, I still want them to succeed. You know what I mean? So I can flip on a dime and I can love a player and say he's the best, but I can also be critical. So.
Listen, I think being critical is fine. Like, what I'm saying, the centre back things, that didn't bother me because they had bad games, right? So players should be able to be dropped. But if he's going to drop them, he has to drop Bruno and other players that are playing bad. Like, Eriksen's been playing well, and like everyone's saying, oh, Eriksen doesn't have legs, he doesn't have this, but play Eriksen at number 10. If you want a number 10 that's going to keep the ball, create chances, I'm telling you, he's a better footballer than Bruno. He is. Like, play him, put someone else defensive midfielder with Mainu, but yeah, I don't know, man. It's just,
if Bruno's just played too much football in the past couple of seasons, you know what I mean? He's looking a bit casual out there. I honestly think a break is good for him. Like, I know he's probably going with Portugal now in this international break.
He will
right?
be, of course, he will be.
So he's out there traveling now, training hard, playing there. He's going to come back and he's going to play. I think the guy has played too much, and he just go, all right, Bruno, I'm going to play you in some cup games coming up, give you a rest in the Prem, and there's so many questions around United at the moment, and look, I don't think Erik's going to be there for the next game. Honestly, I don't. I don't know how he survives. He got 2 draws, and I remember him saying in the press conference just then, I think he was trying to just praise the clean sheet that United got. It's not good enough to Erik. I'm sorry. Look where we are. Like, we've got 8 points from 7 matches. That's just not acceptable. Like, apparently we broke the record again for the worst start of the season.
But he broke his own record.
He broke his own record. You know what I mean? Like, that's how crazy it is. So.
Shit.
Man United have a massive problem here because Ineos have just they've backed this manager. They gave him the extension. Okay, it's not a huge extension. We gave him another 1 year extension, but they've got a lot of players to cater for him. You know what I mean? So they've got the issue of a manager's going to come in and go, "Well, I don't want these players, man. You know, and these aren't my type of players."
100%.
They've got another $500 million problem on their hands. So look, it's almost at the point where they're just, okay, let's keep digging the hole, and hopefully we're digging out of the hole. You know what I mean? With Erik. So
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I just can't see it. I've been a supporter of Erik for so long, but the last few weeks have just really strained my confidence in him. And some of the substitutions, some of the selections. And look, we haven't got that many injuries. Okay, Yoro's injured and Luke Shaw is the left back.
And Malacia, that's it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, look, Xerxes, going on him, look, he's only $35 million signing. I know people are harping on about he's not a Man United quality, but he's supposed
we don't know yet. I don't think we can judge any of them yet.
You know what I mean? He's supposed to be a second stringer to Højlund in the end. He's supposed to be another option. He's supposed to bring something different, which he is a different player to Højlund. So, but I can't see Xerxes as a starter, no. But as a coming off the bench player, I can see it. But yeah, look, Man United. Yes, we didn't get embarrassed by Villa, but the Porto result wasn't enough, and neither was the Villa result to be enough as well.
Yeah.
So,
I agree.
Yeah.
Listen, we've got a few Man United people that have come in the chat that I've never seen before. So Ziad Eclaria says there is no long-term plan in that lineup. It was just about getting a point. If they keep him, then Ineos are on strong fraud watch. Before I read the rest of the chats, I'll say one thing, and I say this to John, and man, I got into some arguments with some other Man United fans. They told me that I was just trying to push a narrative that I said, I don't care what Ineos have done. For me, so far, all they've done is talk a load of bollocks and keep the Glazers at the club.
Mm.
And as long as the Glazers are at the club, I think we're in trouble. And people might say, oh, you're trying to push a narrative there. They've done this, they've got Barada, they've done that. But in the end, if you own a business like the Glazers do, they own 51% of the club. I'm telling you, Sir Jim can't just go sack Erik because it's going to cost £17 million. It's not his money. And if anyone believes that he can make that decision without Joel Glazer signing off on it, I think they're creaming. I think they're lying to themselves. And I don't know what you think about that, but when it comes to all the Glazers think about is money. So they're not letting Sir Jim and that go sack someone that's going to cost them £17 million when it's, you know what I mean? That's all they care about. All they care about is money. So, yeah, I don't know. Listen, everyone is like, Ineos this, Ineos that, Ineos this. But in the end, I think every Man United fan, we've been blinded and we forget that the Glazers still own the club. You know, and they don't give a shit about us. They don't care about us fans. They don't care about Man United. So, yeah, I don't know. There's my little rant, but, you know. Genwell reckons that expressions called Danny, he said Danny Wellblunt, and then Danny Welbeck goes and scores the winner. So, and Genwell says, so you're saying when we were in the bottom three, that was at the start of the season, that wasn't the worst. Listen, man, me and John have said it. We believe that, you know, it could get worse. I don't know. You know, anything can happen in a football club. It can, even to Man United. So,
yeah,
it's hard times.
It is hard times, man. And look, I think the change is needed. Obviously, you can only really do the manager at the moment. I don't know if Rudy answer, you know, just interim. The only thing I worry about with that, if he does do okay and they just do an ollie and just give him the job and then we're back here in a year's time. So that's my concern. Yeah.
The one thing I'll say is you touched on it about like the selections and that, like, and I said I didn't agree with them, but the one thing with Ugarte, right? If he wasn't going to play him against Villa, why didn't he give him any minutes against Porto? Like, Ugarte got sold to PSG from Sporting because he ripped up the Portuguese league. So obviously he knows how to play against Porto. Why didn't you give him some minutes there? Like, like that's the decisions that I think are just, they're either stubborn or just they're stupid, really. But anyway, enough about United. 0-0. I think me and John have both said we don't think he survives or the international break, but I'll tell you what, stranger things have happened. Erik could be taking charge against Brentford.
Yeah, I mean, it's Monday there now, so there's no news of Erik being sacked at the moment. So you'd think it'd be today if it was any day. So
they have to. It has to be today.
Yeah, if they were going to sack him, they'd do it right now. So if it doesn't happen today, well, he could be coach of Brentford.
Yeah, I think he will be. But anyway, that takes us on to, we already spoke about the last game in the Tottenham one, but the last game we can talk about is it was going on at the same time. Nottingham Forest, they went 1-0 up at Stamford Bridge. They got pegged back, 1-1. But man, both teams had some chances to win it. Nottingham Forest even got a red card. James Ward-Prowse, it was pretty funny red card actually. The way he dived on the ball. But yeah, 1-1. I think Chelsea be a bit disappointed in that result, but it is what it is. Genwell says we need a Vince McMahon level of cancellation to get the Glazers out. But yeah, I think Chelsea would be upset about that, and Nottingham Forest, they've proven that they can go to the big clubs this year and get something because they've beaten Liverpool and they've drawn with Chelsea. So, that's how Nuno is, isn't he? Nuno is very pragmatic, very defensive, and sort of grinds out results, really.
Yeah, like I did watch the highlights just before we come on air, and Forest man had some crazy chances in the extra injury time. So I was like, wow, some great, and Nkuku had a great chance as well, and like straight after in the 95th minute as well. So, geez, what a game that would have been to watch right at the end. But yeah, look, it's obviously a surprise result. Forest getting a point away from home. Like Chelsea seem to be scoring 5 or 6 a match at the moment. So
yeah, I mean, I put Palmer as my captain, and all he got was an assist.
Yeah, so well done Forest. I'm happy they got a result here. Peg back the Chelsea's a little bit. But yeah, look, if you're Chelsea, you see this as a poor result, really, being a 10-man Nottingham Forest. You'd think, as soon as you saw that red card of Ward-Prowse jumping on the ball like a rugby player, you'd think, well, we're going to get the winner surely, but never came. And obviously, and even Forest even made some chances with 10 men. So, very good result for Nottingham and a very poor result for Chelsea in the end.
So, listen, I was watching the United game and they said that a brawl happened, right? Because there was 13 minutes extra time.
Yeah.
Did you see any of it? Will there be like any suspensions or anything, like later things, or was it?
It was like the ball went out of play and Maresca picked it up, but it was like a player fell into his legs.
So it was sort of like back in the day remember here with Muscat and Cosmina? When they hit and then Cosmina grabbed Muscat by the throat?
No, nothing like that. Maresca didn't react because I think he knew it was a sort of an accident. It wasn't. Yeah, okay. I don't think he got meant, but the players reacted to it, and coaches didn't seem to get involved that much. But Maresca, he got his legs taken from him and he fell down, obviously, and then a bit of a scuffle, like an old-fashioned footy huddle. And,
you mean like I'll push you because I'm not allowed to punch you, sort of thing?
Yeah, just in their faces and stuff like that. So, and obviously there was 14 minutes injury time in that game. So, yeah.
Oh, well, so that takes us to the end of the round. So we'll quickly look at the fixtures. We'll give our tips quickly. It's obviously there's an international break in between there. So we won't do a show next week. We'll just give our tips nice and quickly now. Let's have a look here. I'll bring up the fixtures. So it gets started off with Spurs at home to West Ham. After West Ham winning 4-1, Spurs giving away a 2-goal lead. Not White Hart Lane, Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. What are you going for there, man?
Uh, I'm not going to go off one game for West Ham. I think I'm going to take Tottenham in this one to win at home. Yeah, I'm going Tottenham 2-1.
Yeah, I agree. I think Tottenham will win, probably 2-1, 2-0. Genwell says 2-1. And Genwell says, just a side note, boo to the new Champions League format. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the league thing they do. I didn't know. I only knew they were doing it because me and John were playing Football Manager, and I was like, "What's this new?" I don't really like it, but yeah. Next day, see this is an interesting game too, man. Fulham, that pretty good result against City, albeit a loss, but they're hosting Aston Villa. Villa, not a good result considering everyone was tipping them to thump us. So Fulham at home to Villa. You know what? I could see an upset. And then Jess has just put in the chat, there's a spider in the bathroom, help. So I'm going to wrap this up and obviously go help Jess.
Oh, gee.
But yeah, I think Fulham could get an upset, man.
Yeah, look, I've been liking how Fulham plays, and I reckon they can win this. I'm going to go Fulham 2-1 as well.
Yeah, I'm there. Genwell says Villa 1-0. Then we got Ipswich, Everton. Man, this is a huge game, eh? Like for both teams.
Oh man, it's just so hard to pick either one of them. I might go Everton, man. I reckon Everton might just get a 1-0 here.
Me too. I'm going to tip Everton too. I think Everton might just grind it out, Premier League experience, show some physicality, and they'll press them, on the way they're playing out from the back, etc. And I think Everton could win it, and then takes us on to our boys. Man United versus Brentford. Jess is running help.
Do you wanna quickly?
Wait, I'll be back. 1 second, guys. 1 second.
Yeah, guys. Man United Brentford. Jesus, like if we sack Ten Hag, this is a 2-0 or 3-0. We'll win it easy as. But with Ten Hag still as manager, I'm concerned. I still think we can win with Erik as the manager. I think he could pull off like a 1-0 or even a 2-1. Brentford, geez, and Brentford are playing pretty well as well. So I'm still going to go Man United to win this game, even if Erik's still the manager. I'm going to go 2-1 Man United.
Yeah, listen. I was listening to what John was saying because I had my earbuds in. And I agree. If we got a new manager, it could be a new manager bounce. But I think even with Erik, we could get something done. Listen, the one thing I will say is if Erik does keep the job, I don't think Man United have got going yet this year. And I think we've been unlucky in some games. Like we could have beat Brighton, we could have beat Palace, and we'd be looking at this completely differently. Listen, we did get done by Liverpool and Tottenham. But that could just be the sign of where we are at as a club. I don't know. But yeah, I'm going to back United. Genwell's backing them too. The spider's gone, guys. I'll tell you that right now. The spider's gone. So on to the next one. Newcastle hosting Brighton. Newcastle drawing against Everton. They drew against City the week before. Isak was missing, I will say that. He should be back for this game. He's been out for the last 2 games, but Brighton, good win against Tottenham. I think I'm going to go Newcastle. I think Newcastle can get it done if Isak's back. If he's not, I don't know, they're struggling to score because they don't have Isak or Wilson. But, yeah.
Yeah, I've got to go Newcastle at home. They're hard to beat up there, so yeah, Newcastle for me up in the north.
I think if Isak plays the high line thing, they'll smash him. They did that to Tottenham last year. Isak got in behind Tottenham about 3 or 4 times and destroyed them at St. James, I think. But it's whether he plays or not. But then we got, man, there's a big game in the Championship last year. Southampton at St. Mary's hosting Leicester.
Obviously, I've got a soft spot for the Saints, and I'm going to go to Saints here to get is it their first win? They've won one yet, have they?
Listen, they're the only team that scored less goals than Man United.
So I'm going to go to Saints here. They're going to get it. 1-0.
Well, listen, I'll tell you, if the Saints get relegated, at least you'll be able to use them in Football Manager next year. So,
Yeah,
but
that's
you
it.
know what? I'm going to say they get their first win as well, man. Yeah, I think when it comes to clubs like that, I was saying it to you during the week when we were talking a bit about like some bets and that. In the Championship, home ground advantage is massive, and I think they're like two Championship sides, these two. So I think it's
Yeah.
home ground advantage is massive. I think I'm going to go them. Then we got Bournemouth hosting Arsenal in the late game.
This will be an entertaining game, actually. I think there might be goals in this game. But I'm going to go Arsenal 4-2. I reckon there's going to be just some good goals
4-2
in this
even
game.
gives a result. It even gives a scoreline.
Yeah, I reckon there's going to be goals. Goals galore.
Yeah, listen. I don't think you can look past Arsenal. I'm going to tip them too. Don't know the scoreline, but I think they'll do it. And then we got Wolves. Man, they're bottom, and they're hosting Man City.
Look, it's hard to make a case for Wolves here, really. Just, it might be a freak game for Wolves. They can pull it off, but look, you've got to pick City, don't you? So,
Yeah, I think so. Listen. Yeah, listen. The one thing I would say is they've got nothing to lose. They just got to go for it.
yeah, look, they might be desperate seeing, they've got 2 weeks to mull over that they're on the bottom of the ladder and they could rally in this game, but it's hard to see. City will be
Yeah.
heavy favourites here. Yeah.
And then on the Monday, like Sunday night, after that, following the Wolves City game, Liverpool. See, this could be their big test so far. They are hosting Chelsea.
Yeah, look, I think Chelsea is still a little bit erratic. They can score goals, but I think they can concede. You know what I mean? So I think Liverpool a bit more stronger, a bit more stable, a bit more experienced. So I think Liverpool win this, but I think Chelsea might get a goal as well. So, but I think Liverpool. Well, I'm going to go Liverpool at home. If it was the other way around, I wouldn't mind Chelsea in this game. But yeah, I think Liverpool at home.
Yeah, I think the Anfield factor plays a part as well. I think if it was at Stamford Bridge, we might look at it differently. But listen, it'll be a tough game for Liverpool. I think it'll be their toughest test so far this year. We would have said United would have been, but they steamrolled us. Yeah, big game, but I'm going to tip Liverpool. Ivan says Liverpool 7-0. I don't know about that. And I think he said Wolves 2-0 as well. He's crazy. And then that takes us on to the final game, which is the Tuesday. Nottingham Forest hosting the winless Palace.
Well, look, what I saw of Nottingham Forest in the highlights I just saw against Chelsea makes me go Nottingham Forest in this game. They look like they were creating some good chances, and Palace have been very underwhelming this year. I think obviously we've spoken about it before. The Elise exit has affected him. I know Eze has been playing well, but he's still not putting the output he did last season. So
Nah.
I'm gonna go Forest, man. But look, this is a tough game. I think for Forest to beat Palace, they got to be on point. So yeah, look, I'm gonna go Forest at home.
Yeah, I think it's a big game as well, but I'm going to tip Forest. I think Palace are not only missing Elise, they sold Anderson, their centre back, and that's hurting them a lot. That Guehi was getting chased by Newcastle for the whole transfer window. He's their captain. Is that playing on his mind? I don't know. But they don't look good, man. They don't look good either. They could be in trouble. Ivan says it's not tough, KP. Chelsea is our warm-up team. So he's really confident Liverpool going to smack Chelsea. There you go.
Yeah,
There
good
you
game.
go. Oh, listen, the one thing I will say is you don't have Alisson because I saw his injury last night and he ain't playing for a while. That could hurt Liverpool. He did his hamstring doing nothing. So
out for a month or something, I think.
yeah, it would have to be a month, minimum. So that could hurt him, but I don't know. But I'm tipping him anyway. But that brings us to the end of the show. It was a good show. We won't be live next week, guys, because there's no games and international break. We don't really care about the international break. So.
No. I mean, Greece is playing England, but that's about it.
Greece playing England. Australia got a qualifier in Adelaide on Thursday night, actually, against...
oh, yeah, true.
I can't remember who. I said I might try to do a watch along for Australia Thursday night. I'll see if I can do it.
It's just crap watching soccer games on an AFL oval. You
I
know what I
know
mean?
it's shit. It's a bit Adelaide Oval, so I agree. I don't like that. Don't like that. But yeah, it was a good show. Thanks for everyone that came in. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for getting in touch. I think it's not. We got what we got from this week is that it's never in doubt. Man United are going to win. But yeah, so like I said, there'll be a week off. What are the final thoughts of the week, man? Will Erik survive? Let's end the poll. End the poll, and I'll see what everyone said.
I normally can't stand international breaks, but honestly, I need a break from United. So I'm actually welcoming the 2 weeks off, and I'm interested to see all the noise that comes out of Erik. So yeah, see what happens.
I ended the poll, and will Erik Ten Hag survive the international break? 73% have voted yes.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know what that means because it's not a big number, big thing, but most of our fans are thinking that he is going to survive. Listen, if he does survive, I think he's got to stop being stubborn and drop Bruno. I don't know. Yeah. Give Mourinho a chance to come back, is what Ivan says. No. Listen, I do believe Mourinho probably shouldn't have got the sack. I think the club, if it was Ineos at the time, should have backed him over some of our prima donna players, but that boat sailed now. That's done. But thanks everyone for watching. Thanks, man. When are you back at work?
I'll go back tomorrow for training. So
that's right, the training thing.
Fun. And kill those spiders, man. Protect your woman.
I did it, man. I got up live stream and got rid of it. Chris C says good. Chris C says good shoe, lads, and then he corrects himself to say good show. And to say my shoes are good.
Thanks for the shoe, man.
It was a good shoe. Chris C says John needs a lot of training.
I do.
That's terrible, man. That's harsh. But I'm with John. Looking forward to the international break because I don't have to. My mental health doesn't have to take a hit because of Man United. So that's my final thought. See yous in a couple of weeks, guys. But there'll be some shows in between. Obviously, there'll be podcasts. We're doing the Hot Ones challenge with Dino. Dino's coming on as a special guest star. He bought the sauces off Amazon to do the Hot Wings challenge. So he's going to go from level 1 to level 10. That's going to be live. And yeah, there'll be some gaming, some shit in between. We'll do some stuff. Me and John might try hit the courts again. See what we can do. Take it easy, guys. Peace.
See you guys.